What's up guys, this is Kenya YGO. I'm back bringing you another video. This time I'm going to be doing a Sky Striker March 2020 profile. And let's start off. To start off, we are playing 1 ZOODIAC WHIPTAIL, 2 Darkest Diabolos Lord of the Lair, 3 Sky Striker Ace Ray, 3 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, 3 Sky Striker Maneuver Jamming Waves, 3 Sky Striker Maneuver Scissors Cross, Scissors Cross, 3 Called by the Grave for the hand traps, 3 Sky Striker Earth Space, 2 Melody of the Awakening Dragon, 2 Sky Striker Maneuver Afterburners, 2 Sky Striker Mecha Shark Cannon, 1 Terraforming, 1 Brain Control, 1 Raigeki, 1 Pot of Avarice, 1 Upstart Goblin, 1 Widow Anchor, 100 Drones, 1 Vector Blast, 1 Multi-Roll, 1 Ego Booster, and 1 Tribute to the Doom. For the extra deck, we're going to be playing 1 ZOODIAC BOARBOW. Let's go ahead. I'm trying to figure out where to put them. Let's put them like this. 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Boros Sword, 3 SHIZUKU. Let's make some spacing here. 3 HAYATE, 3 KAINA, and 3 KAGARI. Now, for the extra deck, I'm still figuring it out. This deck is relatively new to me. I haven't really played with it. I've just been testing. So like I said, it might be, you might find it and you might see it and you might test it and say, hey, this is a little bit clunky. That's fine. This is more on a budget build and, something that anyone can just go and pick up and start playing, So for the extra deck, for the side deck, we have the Melody of Awakening Dragon, Dimensional Barrier, which I'm still debating whether I should have or not, Sky Striker Ace Rose. I would be playing 3, or I will be playing 3. Once I get the other 2, they'll be incorporated into the deck and changes will be made. Once that's done, I'm gonna upload a video and I'll show you guys what that looks like. Cosmic Cyclone and Dark Hole. So for anyone that doesn't know, Sky Striker is really heavy on spells because it's mainly reliant on the spells. Just gonna go ahead and showcase. That's a good. Okay, so definitely one of the best cards in the deck, along with Multi-Roll. As of 20 March, still banlist. Soon we'll have the April. We'll see how that goes. Just pulling out some examples here. Okay, so for this deck to go at, let's say, a full potential, you are going to mainly run, I'll say, like a good 80-85%, maybe 90-95. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that, but the majority of your deck is going to be spells. Why is that? Let me show you. So it says, Widow Anchor says, if you control no monsters in your main monster zone, target one face-up effect monster on the field, negate that face-up monster's effect until the end of this turn. Then, if you have 3 or more spells in your graveyard, you can take control of that monster until the end phase. That one line where it says, if you have 3 or more spells in your graveyard, that's what's kicking in here. That's why it's so spells oriented. And also, you're not really gonna find too many monsters in this, it's a Sky Striker deck. Let's see how many I run. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, this is literally all the monsters in here. Because quite frankly, the spells do all the work. Let me get you another example real quick. So look, if you control no monsters in your main monster zone, target one level 4 Sky Striker Ace monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Or if you have 3 or more spells in your graveyard, you can special summon it instead. So having that 3 or more spells in your graveyard really helps. Did I read Jamming Waves? I don't think I did. So Jamming Waves says, if you control no monsters in your main monster zone, you can target one spell and trap on the field. Destroy it. Then, if you have 3 or more spells in your graveyard, you can destroy one monster on the field. So, don't be surprised if let's say you're building this deck. Not necessarily my build. Could be any build you want, honestly. But don't be surprised if what you're running the most is spells. I also plan to incorporate what's it called, Mystic Mind into this deck once I get my hands on it. But here, let me show you some other examples. Let's start with the Sky Striker monsters. So, KAGARI says, if this card is special summoned, you can target one Sky Striker spell in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Gives 100 attack for each spell in your graveyard. You can only special summon once. So you can only special summon it once. That's fine. But that effect alone is actually really, really good. So let's see, HAYATE. HAYATE says, you can only special summon Sky Striker Ace HAYATE once per turn. This card can attack directly. After damage calculation of this card battle, you can send one Sky Striker card from your deck to the graveyard. Really good effect. It's basically like a Foolish Burial, but for pretty much everything. Yeah. Spells, traps. Well, if there ever is a Sky Striker trap. Spells, monsters. Let's see. So this right here says, KAINA says, if this card is special summoned, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. It cannot attack until the end of your opponent's turn. Each time you activate a Sky Striker spell card or its effect, gain 100 life points immediately after the card or effect souls. You can only special summon one Sky Striker Ace KAINA once per turn. So this one is not really as much. Oh yeah, it is. I guess you can say that. So it says each time you activate a Sky Striker spell card or its effect, gain 100 life points. So, let's say you and your opponent have been grinding out, and he's like shaving away your life points, because it is kind of hard to go over these cards, especially when you have like a bunch of spells that help you out. Kind of hard to do that. So this card right here will be your all those life points you basically got shaved off. You can kind of gain it back little by little. And like I said, it's a very spell-oriented deck, so the most you're going to be playing are spells. You can also, of course, do your plays, whatever, that's fine. And then, let's read Shizuku real quick. Monsters your opponent controls lose 100 attack defense for each spell in your graveyard. Once per turn during the end phase, if this card was special summoned this turn, you can add one Sky Striker spell from your deck to your hand, with a name different from the cards in your graveyard. So yeah, as you can see, these cards are like very, very heavily, and I know I keep repeating myself, but this is just for the people that don't know, or they've never really played with Sky Strikers. Let's say they've only played against it. They don't really understand why there's not many monsters in there. It's because they're very spell oriented. So I wanted to bring something up as well. The reason I play this card, and then of course I'll show this one, we'll talk about that later. So as you can see, none of these cards are Sky Strikers, but they do benefit of the Sky Striker cards. Well, monsters, I should say. So Ray is a dark type, and in here, Darkest Diabolus effect, I'm gonna read it just in case. It says your opponent cannot tribute this face-up card on the field and cannot target it with card effects. So that's instantly like an anti-kaiju type of strategy. He's basically a boss monster who pretty much can be kaiju. You know, he's a big 3,000 beater, very, very good. And then it says, if a dark monster you control is tributed, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. If it was there when you tribute it, or hand, even if not. So, sorry, I gotta read this again. The dark monster you control is tributed. Summon this card from your graveyard. Oh, okay, so let's say, let's go into some place right now. I normal summon Ray, right? And I use the quick effect, which is you contribute this card, quick effect, special summon one Sky Striker Ace monster from your extra deck to the extra monster zone while this card is in your graveyard. If a face-up Sky Striker Ace Link monster you control is destroyed by battle or leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can special summon this card. So you can only use that card's effect once per turn. So let's say I use the effect. I tribute it, goes to graveyard. Let's say I bring out KAGARI. So since I tributed, because of the quick effect, I tributed Sky Striker Ace, and I happen to have Darkest Diabolus in my hand, I'm able to special summon him from my hand. So let's say I don't have him, and Darkest Diabolus is in the graveyard, and I do the same thing. It doesn't matter, because the effect says it can be either in your hand or in your graveyard. So that little switch off, bring KAGARI in, special summon. This deck, it really did get hit in the ban list, but I feel like this is a really nice combo. It's really good. Let's see. Let's talk about WHIPTAIL a little bit. So one of the reasons or I should say I play ZOODIAC WHIPTAIL is because of the effect. During either player's turn, you can target one Beast Warrior type Xyz monster you control. Attach this card from your hand or field to it as an Xyz material. If this card so it says, an Xyz monster whose original type is Beast Warrior, it has this card as Xyz material against this effect, which is if this card battles an opponent's monster, after damage calculation, banish the opponent's monster. So I basically use it to bring out BOARBOW, which is required as 5 level 4 monsters, but it says once per turn you can also Xyz summon ZOODIAC BOARBOW by using one ZOODIAC monster you control with a different name as Xyz material. So that's why we use ZOODIAC WHIPTAIL. So let's say I bring him out. I can easily just Xyz summon with him, and then he gains a little effect from WHIPTAIL, which is to, you know, after damage calculation, banish the monster. So, you know, damage calculation, boom, banish, let's say, I don't know, like that annoying boss monster your opponent has. Let's say, like, I have a question here. So yeah, you just kind of deal with it by banishing it. You know, I just thought it was kind of neat, little combo there. Hope you guys enjoy. Please leave a comment if you have any suggestions on what I can change, what I can add, what I can maybe try to work with, what worked for you even, you know. If let's say you have a, I mean, honestly, there's better deck builds out there, but, you know, if you're more on the budget side, this might be for you. It's competitive on a budget level. You can definitely make something out of it. I would like to make a note. Borosol right now is like going up and down on price. When I got it, it was like $12, I believe, $12.10, maybe a little bit less. I don't remember. But you know, I got a really good deal out of it. Same thing with Nightmare Unicorn. You know, these are staple cards on any deck, quite frankly. But like I said, if you guys have any comments, suggestions, leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I'll see you on the next one.